Hi everyone, it's been a while since I uploaded the video last time. Today it will be training on the punching bag. And honestly, I didn't have many ideas in my head lately. I was just moving a lot around. Right now I'm in Manila, in Makati, Philippines, and I'm gonna stay here for 2 more weeks. But yeah, enough of the excuses, and today I want to talk a little bit about my training goals and the motivations, and in general, how I approach the training aspect. Basically, I'm separating my goals into different categories like short term, medium term, and long term. However, when it comes to the training, short term and medium term goals are usually linked to long term as well. For example, my long term goal is to be healthy, sustain my flexibility, mobility, my strengths, and explosivity in the older age. And for that, on the daily basis, I make sure that I'm walking enough, I'm doing my strength training a few times per week, I stay hydrated, take care of my nutrition, etc. At the same time, my medium term goals are learning new skills and bettering my current skills like sprinting, boxing, and probably something else in the future, which is directly linked to my long term goals as well. So basically, what I'm doing, I'm trying to calculate future steps and make the choices that I think gonna lead me to the good place in the future. All this general talks aside, let me tell you a little bit more about my boxing background. My relationship with the combat sport started from karate, and then around when I was 15 or 16 years old, I switched to boxing. At the time, my big inspiration was UFC and Ronda Rousey specifically when she was at her top. So at that time, I was practicing BJJ, wrestling, kickboxing, and MMA for fun with my friends. However, boxing was where I competed for a while. Ironically, I almost don't have an official fighting record. However, I have a lot of open ring sparring experience, and this is basically where I learned how to spar on the ring. Another reason for that is that I retired early, and since then I just kept practicing for myself. So yeah, after that I worked a lot on my technique, and I definitely can say that my boxing skills right now are better than when I was an amateur. Quite a few times I thought about getting back to competing, but right now I'm doing a lot of things at the time. I'm also a personal trainer, and I enjoy helping others in achieving their own goals. So yeah, at the moment I'm just keeping that approach in my head, which is always be ready. I'm trying to better myself in different aspects, and maybe one day I would compete. Why not? But before even thinking about it, it is important to be realistic and acknowledge the current state and the flaws. When it comes to boxing, for example, even though my skills are better, my stamina is definitely not at the competitive level. My footwork could be better, and in general, there are many aspects to be improved before competing. And here I will tell you the honest and brutal truth. It's not gonna be like in the movie when you fail down and rise up. It will be much harder. It's gonna be a lot of time consuming, a lot of injuries, a lot of stress and pressure, physical and psychological. And before competing, you just have to be ready to that reality. So yeah, at the moment, the only person I'm competing against is me. Here I will switch topics and I will talk about the importance of the health pillars like sleep, nutrition, and physical activity. Whether you want to be a competitive athlete or just maintain your health, you have to take care of this first. And I know it's kind of a banal thing to say, theoretically everyone knows it, but I personally know a lot of people and a lot of athletes who neglect sleep, for example. They work hard, they grind every day, but they don't simply get enough recovery at all. And again, this is a common knowledge, but I'm gonna repeat, without recovery, no matter how hard you train, you're not gonna get your gains. So yeah, get your sleep, get your recovery, and don't forget about nutrition, hydration, and movement too, because those three are directly linked within each other. If you have a poor nutrition and a lack of activity, and you don't spend enough energy, your sleep gonna get worse, and vice versa. Regarding lack of nutrition, I can give you my personal example. From 17 years old up until 22, I was a vegetarian slash pescatarian, which means in occasion I was eating fish and I was taking eggs and dairy products. However, my diet was not clean whatsoever and I definitely was lacking of protein. But back then, I didn't know much about nutrition, so I thought there was something wrong with me, that I was not competitive enough, or I didn't have that spark for training. But shortly after meeting my husband, I started eating meat, and I realized that the problem was just lack of protein. Since then, my competitive drive, my strengths, my health, my everything, my mood drastically improved. And also, I'm trying to keep my diet as clean as possible, and I'm taking all the nutrition I need and the supplements I'm usually lacking of too. So, after my personal experience, my choice is well-balanced diet, high fiber, high protein, probiotics, healthy fats, and moderate amount of carbs. I can talk about nutrition all day, so I better make another video about it. I find very interesting that people think that if they want to start training, they necessarily have to go to the gym or do martial arts. This is like a common popular opinion. I mean, if this is the place where you want to go and where you are eager to do the activity and training, yeah, sure. But usually I advise to my personal clients and to my friends in general to start from something they really, really like. I mean, the list is very long. For example, hiking, walking, playing badminton, I don't know, many other things. It's just the list is so long, and a lot of activities people don't even consider as training. But the truth is that they are, especially for the people who are not really into exercising and don't have enough time for that. I suggest to start from something very simple, very easy, that they can base their daily activity on. Like swimming, for example. I have never ever met the person who didn't like swimming, except if they didn't know how to swim, or afraid of water, or something like that. Generally, as I said, sleep, nutrition, and basic level of activity is the cure, the basic cure for everything. And here I have to mention the impact of these three on the mental health. And understand that all of us live under the stress and we have our own problems. But the real problem is poor choices and the bad habits that lead us to depressive and bad state of mind. Talking about personal feelings and emotions is important, but establishing healthy and positive habits is way more practical. And I have never ever seen a single person who changed their physical habits and that impacted them in a negative way. So yeah, let's promote more of the physical fitness and even socializing through that way and help each other to get fitter and better. This video was originally about my goals regarding training, but I also have to mention that one of my biggest long-term goals is to create the community around me who is sharing those same values. People with the strong and resilient bodies and minds. They say that guys at least once a day thinking about Roman Empire. Well, I'm thinking of having a village of like-minded people when the apocalypse starts. But yeah, I think I said everything that I wanted to mention in this video. And let me know if you like this format, and I will try to make more of this. I still find it hard to talk on camera, and by the way, English is my third language. So I'm still testing different ways how to make the videos and convey the messages I have for you. Unfortunately, I learned just enough English to give you some affirmations. First one, and the one that helped me personally, is that average plan but executed is better than a perfect plan but never done. I sometimes tend to be perfectionist, so this affirmation helped me to kill my darlings and start executing. The second one is, don't treat your fear as an enemy but a friend. For me personally, it was a discovery when I stopped fighting my fears and I just started talking to them and letting them know that I got this and they don't have to protect me. Because in reality, the fear is not your enemy. It is your primarily instinct to protect you and help you to survive. In general, that might be a weird way to deal with it, but that works for me. Third affirmation, be flexible and don't give up. For me, sometimes not giving up means that I have to give up on something specific to change my direction and succeed in another thing. Sometimes life has just different plans for you, and giving up on something does not mean giving up on yourself. Fourth affirmation, take control over things you are able to control. You cannot control the weather, but it's up to you whether you go outside for a run or not. Well, though, not an analogy for me. I'm not a fan of running in the bad weather. And fifth and final affirmation for today. Embrace your emotions, but don't let them take over you. Being able to feel is the biochemical reaction and you cannot cancel it, but it's up to you how you direct it. That was it for today. Thank you for staying if you stayed up until this point, and I see you next time.